there's a different danger, you know, other than like a single kind of traumatic event like that you get with a TBI or like your incident with American football. Hitting your head just a little bit with a helmet on, it doesn't hurt very much at all. And I must have hit my head throughout my practices and all of that, I don't know, 100,000 times at least. And I never was in so much pain that I thought this is really, really bad. Maybe up until college, you know, but by that point you had the years of the training of, you know, being tough and stick it out. And, you know, your coach wants a player who could run through a brick wall, so to speak. And it's like, if there was anybody like that, it was me. You know, I was going to be that guy that would go run through a brick wall for the coach, which is ridiculous, you know, just especially for the level I played at. I wasn't at a big D1 school. I wasn't going professional. I was just a kid that I liked the sport, played it my whole life. And despite all of these other negative things I could see going on in the background at that point, I was still trying hard, but it wasn't obvious the damage I was doing. And that's I think the NFL could have came forward. So I do think we could still put some criticism on them, or, you know, there's still some probing we could do there, because if they could have came out with that information earlier, it might have changed the way I play, or even if I played at the collegiate level, it might have got me to seek treatment earlier, you know, because I think when they were first presented with the studies on CTE, I was probably going into my sophomore year of high school, you know, that would have really changed the course of my life. I think I might have had CTE had I quit playing after high school, but most of the damage I think I did in college. So, yeah, I try to tell my story truthfully and let people know there's a whole generation of guys, like, you know, with the brain things, you could have a one-time event like you had, or you could have a whole bunch of smaller events like these football players. You know, the brain affects a variety of different things and to varying degrees. And then it comes up at varying points in people's lives, you know, like I didn't have a lot of really negative symptoms until several years after I was playing. And so I'm kind of just advocating for awareness of that, because, you know, there's people who are going to say, I don't feel like myself anymore, or, and I'm worried about this. And and I don't think they should be brushed off. You know, I think that's too easy. Like, oh, you didn't play in the NFL. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. And I'm just trying to tell my story that, you know, those things are real, and we should take them seriously and tell about the positive treatments that are out there, you know, and I'm all for an optimistic attitude towards it. It's not all doom and gloom. I think it would be very hard for kids to get to the point where I was with my brain damage playing football. You know, I didn't have just a few small incidents. I really hit my head and used my head as a weapon, so to speak, over and over again, repeatedly. And to recreate that would be pretty hard. So I think with what we know now, most guys aren't playing that way. They're not going to have that damage, but we still have lots of guys who did play that way, who are going to need to be heard and going to need to know what treatments are out there.